Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching us for the first time. Click the notification bell. You can also like this particular video and share it. I will really appreciate you. And on the very same breath, allow me to thank those who are supporting this channel in one way or the other. Our subscribers, those who listen to us, those who give feedback, I want to say thank you very much. Now, you will all agree with me that whether you are a staunch supporter of the Kenya Kwanza regime or you are a very strict adherent of Raila Amolo Odinga and Azimio, you will agree with me that the political, economic, religious, and our social status as a country is in limbo, it is wanting, and it's almost becoming disastrous. What is making it even to be more awful is the fact that all the cries and sentiments and lamentations are ending in deaf ears and no one would want to listen to us. There are several leaders who have complained as they weigh into this debate, and some of them are becoming very emotional about the state of our affairs, about the state of our nation. One of the leaders who almost lost his cool while he was debating about the situation in the country is the current senator of Kisii County, Honorable Richard Onyonka. A very soft-spoken man, but sometimes when he thinks about our nation, he loses his cool. And you will agree with me after watching this video that you share the same sentiments. Just take a look.
What we are doing with our military. APCs, the armored personnel carriers we are supposed to use, which our people are supposed to be using in fighting the Al-Shabaab. And this problem is not with President William Ruto. Look at how our soldiers are being killed. They don't have the goddamn equipment for them to go and fight where they're supposed to be fighting. Look at our fuel prices. People go and negotiate a fuel price, which is fake. They are sharing the commissions. They come and give us more costing on the fuel. They tell us it was government to government expenditure. I mean government purchase. Which discount do you get when you are negotiating? That is the discount men are sharing. We are not children anymore. These are the issues that are making our country look like a banana republic. Let the government put policy into place. But you know, I want to repeat it here. When you see David Ndii talk, David Ndii is my friend, and we don't talk on economic matters because we agreed we are on both either side. He is saying, I can't help this nonsense which is going on. People are stealing money, people are buying deals, guys are buying houses in Karen, somebody is buying a house for 290 million with 16 bedrooms. What is wrong with us? What happened to us? There are no medicines in hospitals. County governors are doing the same. You have the National Assembly. If the government is not going to take control, those youths that you saw who are going to look for jobs, they will walk into the streets, and you are not going to stop them.
The senator summarizes the status or the state of our nation. Because if you want to look about the security situation in our country, it is really dire because no one is safe, including our own disciplined forces. When you see Al-Shabaab killing our soldiers, then you know that things are not good, things are not well, because these are the men and women that we trust with our security. But if they're the ones who are on the receiving end, then you know that something is wrong. And Richard is alluding to some statements there that maybe they do not have the requisite materials and tools and artillery to fight the enemy, and that is why sometimes they are subjected to unnecessary injuries. They are victims of unnecessary deaths and injuries. And I think this debate came as a result of the helicopter that was carrying a surveillance team in Boni Forest that had fallen, that fell down, and it crashed and killed many people. And so people are wondering, are our gallant men and women in the disciplined forces safe? Because if they are not, then you know what that means to the civilian. And the issue of insecurity now goes beyond just the Al-Shabaab. Al-Shabaab are external forces. But in our borders, even within the interclans, you realize that castle rustlers have taken over. And this is one area that really William Ruto has failed. And it's because there are no proper policies. They are the leaders that are supposed to be fighting this are the sponsors of the cartels. And so it is really very bad. We are talking about the cost of living there. And Onyonka has got sentiments that very many people share. That we are in this situation because we are the co-authors of our own problems. From the electorate who decided to elect William Ruto, knowing very well that things were turning from bad to worse, from the frying pan into the fire. And now, listening to the international community and the IMF, we removed all the subsidies. I've repeated this again and again, and we have decided to increase the VAT, value added tax, on petroleum products. And you see, anytime you increase the VAT on petroleum products, it impacts on all the other things, all the services that are rendered to citizens, all the goods, because now the cost of production also becomes very exorbitant, and this has to be passed to the common wananchi. And to make it even more worse, there is a lot of corruption in the country, and there is no political goodwill and that willpower to punish the perpetrators of corruption. We encourage this corruption. We even aid some of the people who have been jailed. We go back and pardon them. We even in the government today, members of the staff and the cabinet, there are others who have got questionable characters. But all their cases were dropped under the guise of there were no proper investigation, and some of them were being followed up as a result of political machination because they were supporting William Samoei Ruto. And when we do this, we are breeding disaster. The question of youth is something that is a time bomb waiting to explode. When you have a majority of youth who do not have jobs, they graduate from the colleges, but there are no jobs. You would argue that some of them can, start their own businesses. But even the environment for conducting such businesses is not there. Because once you've increased the taxes of petroleum products, then even the cost of production, the cost of doing business goes high. You've seen most of our investors running away from us. The other day, Madam Suluhu of TZ was bragging that she received very many investors from Kenya. And that tells you that the environment for doing business is one that is really not very conducive. So the youth don't have jobs. To make it even worse, they don't have hope. You see, when you have a youth that is not employed, but there is hope, then at least things are good. But you see, they don't have hopes. Our leaders keep on, talking ill, and they want to diminish. They want to talk to us as if we don't matter in this country. You increase taxes so that a youth who just starts a business and maybe a shop, he has not even sold anything, but wale wa kuchukua ushuru washafika, it's not going to be very good. In our hospitals, there are no facilities, there are no medicine, and even the very little, the very little that are taken to the hospitals, because of corruption and mischief, the very doctors have got their private hospitals, and they take the medicine and sell in their chemistries. They will be referring you to go for checkups, and those when you want to go for some medical checkup, wataka kukupima sijui pressure, sijui wachukue damu nini, you will be referred to their laboratories. Today, go and check the status of the hospitals, both in Nairobi and in the rural suburbs, and you'll know what I'm talking about. And even to make it worse, David Ndii, who's the chief economic advisor, seems to have given up. And if you ask me, David Ndii knows exactly what he's doing. He's spilling the beans in a way that he will not be at loggerheads with the government that he serves, because he seems to be telling people, I have to tell you the truth, the situation is bad, and prepare even for the worst. And this is why I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, that it is really not good. We have government officials who are cutting deals. They negotiate for oil prices, and the discount that they've been given, they decide to spoil the loot. The other day, Ruto wanted to privatize some part of Mombasa port. And Abdul Samad, who is the governor there, refused, because we all know that they will be cutting deals, they will be negotiating with whoever wants to purchase, and the discount that is given is not benefiting the locals or the Kenyans themselves. They spoil the loot. And ladies and gentlemen, it's very bad. Instead of tackling the situation, people like our Deputy Ruto-Gachagua have reduced this to be a tantrum, a political tantrum between himself and Raila, between the government and the opposition. And we have a government that does not want to listen. They just say, since we are in government, we can do whatever we want because we are in government. It's really very sad. But like Onyonga says, we need to be very careful with the youths. They flocked the other day when I think about 350 NYS recruits were needed. We saw an influx of over 10,000 youths who went there because they want jobs. And this tells you that things are not good. We have a government that does not want to look at the affairs of our youths. What they do, they know they have the police who will beat the youths when they go to the streets. But for how long? We really need to do something. Or what do you think yourself?